welcome to the second review of the evening. This time is Head Over Heels. Um, Head Over Heels is a classic reimagined with a beautiful high-res pixel art and a great soundtrack. Head Over Heels is an isometric puzzle platform game with two playable characters that have been captured, separated, and imprisoned in the castle, Head and Heels. Head can shoot enemies to solve puzzles, as long as he's collected enough donut ammo to do so, and jump higher than Heels. That is way faster, and early in the game gets the ability to carry a single object within one screen only. Um, the player will have to use and combine all of their powers to get them both out of the castle and to do all the puzzles that are ahead. Like,
Yeah, pause for uproarious laughter here.
Right. So, digging further into the history, Head Over Heels was originally a 1987 game released on various platforms, various computer platforms of the age, but was apparently remade in 2003, if Wikipedia is to be believed. That's what is presuming this version is based off of.
Yes.
Because, yeah. Or this would be like the Amiga/Atari ST version, because this is way too colorful for something from the Commodore 64 or ZX Spectrum or something of that vintage. And as noted, this is an isometric game in the style of, well, a lot of releases from Ultimate Play the Game / Rare from around that time, or think Solstice on the NES, Equinox on the Super NES, stuff like that. Kind of mixed in with the Lost Vikings, although this predates the Lost Vikings by a good 5 years, if I'm remembering my maths correctly. So we were given the Switch version of the game. So over to Petty Fan for more detail on that.
So yeah, this game is weird, and I don't fully know what I'm supposed to be doing. Because it's definitely one of those old games where you pick up something and it doesn't tell you what that something is supposed to do.
Right.
Also, trying to navigate around this isometric hellscape is bad.
Well, yeah. I've talked about isometric jumping before. And a quick refresher, isometric jumping is clunky because of the way the control layouts are done. Because like up is up, but it isn't up.
Yeah.
Like up is right, technically speaking. Or the left arrow key. Sorry, there's something like that.
Yeah.
You have to shift your thinking literally 45 degrees in order to properly handle isometric platforming. Plus, this is at least based off of an old ass computer game, so the jumping wasn't going to be the best in the first place.
Indeed.
But did you eventually figure things out?
Not at all.
That's concerning.
Yeah. Like, this game, like, I can imagine the original ones, not really telling you what things do. It would be kind of, I guess, understood because you'd still have the manual. But buying the Switch version, I do not have access to a manual, so I have no idea what these things do.
Now, once again, just going back to the review we just posted, because this is it's a remade game, sure, but this is clearly operating on a very video games exclamation point level here.
Right.
Like, you look at this and you just see video game. Like, as opposed to, even if this were more representative of real world things, it would, because we're talking 1987 here, it would be very abstract. But, going back to Cosmic Cruiser, the things that they try to portray as actual things kind of look like the actual things, versus this is just, I guess for lack of a better term, visual nonsense.
Yeah. Like, I just collect something that looks like a fish, but I didn't get anything even visually to indicate it did anything positive or negative.
Mm-hmm. And, like, apparently this game has robots that bear a remarkable resemblance to the head of King Charles III on the body of a Dalek. Like, I don't know if you've encountered anything like that, Petty, but I guess that's this thing right here. Yeah, that would be. Yeah, I mean, that is the body of a Dalek. I'm not exactly sure about the Charles III thing.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, this style of game was actually fairly popular in the UK on the 8-bit macros back in the day.
Oh, I'd imagine it was.
Yeah.
Though it has not aged very well.
Crap, what is that one called? There was one of these on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, I listed that, but you might not have heard that.
Was it Solstice? Equinox.
Equinox. Solstice was the first game.
Sorry, I just got here because of Macross.
Yeah, is Mac rating us?
I believe so. I don't know if he has done so yet.
Yeah, well, I'm seeing a comment in the chat, so it looks like that happened. Right, so in case you're just joining us, we are covering the game Head Over Heels, which is an isometric platform adventure game, which was a popular style that saw many of those kind of games on things like the BBC Micro, the ZX Spectrum, the Amstrad CPC, Atari ST. Like, name a European computer here.
Admittedly, it's somewhat better for 3D platforming than a linear perspective is, but that is a big...
It's debatable. Like,
I'll rephrase that. It's easier to keep depth and width straight when it's isometric.
Okay, and the big selling point here is you play as two characters, Hedis Molthon, head, and Footis Undrium, heels. Those are apparently their real names. Mm-hmm. And you're supposed to be doing something in order to progress through the levels, and they have different powers. So it's a bit like
so right now you're playing as the head, right?
Yes,
I assume so. Anyway, Petty has been telling us that he has no idea what to make of the game.
Yeah.
Do you have controls?
They are not great.
Do you get a choice?
What kind of?
auto-locked to pressing up on the control stick is a particular way.
I haven't seen any options that let me, kind of reorientate controls. So I guess they're locked.
When you press up on the D-pad, which direction do you go?
Kind of. I'm really bad with the directions. Like, I
Is
guess
it a diagonal?
Yeah, it's weird.
So it's locked to up equals diagonal.
Yeah.
I know it's common to not get options, but I really appreciated Boktai back on the Game Boy Advance gave you choices of up equals up left, or up equals up right.
Yeah.
And that would be nice to have. Although in this one, it doesn't look like you can move screen orthogonally.
I don't think so.
Like if you jump, you can't jump straight up on the screen.
No, I don't think I can.
If you could, getting that rabbit would be a lot easier.
I guess the only kind of nifty thing is
you might have to get the foot guy to make that jump. I assume that if anything, the foot guy can jump further since he's feet.
Yeah, I got it.
Or that works.
But yeah, one good thing is if you run out of lives with one character, you can get 2 lives from your other guy.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're basically playing them both together.
I see. And what are these shield and lightning things down at the bottom there?
No idea. They do not. There's no conveyance on what any of those do, if anything.
Anyway, what I had been intending to say was that I understand that there are some advantages with an isometric platformer in terms of being able to discern rows and columns better, but it still is kind of an awkward angle to be platforming in, especially when the controls don't actually map to what's on the screen. Not that necessarily is better. And yeah, that does kind of look like, not that the Dalek base shape is totally original anyway, but the knobs really sell it.
So yeah. Music's fine, I guess. Graphics are interesting enough.
Yeah. As I mentioned, the graphics you're seeing here, this is from the remake that was released about 2003 for various PC platforms. Because, like I said, you were not getting this level of detail on a 8-bit.
Hell, even some 16 bits couldn't pull this off. So what's the damage price-wise?
Let me see. Well, let's see. It is $9.99 on the Nintendo Switch.
Oh god, that is way too much.
Well, how long is it?
That's an interesting question, actually. because, like, how do I put this?
I understand that it's not amazing, but if it's like reasonably long, that might not be as bad as it sounds. But
Well, the question is, how is the length being determined here?
that's
I'm
true.
not sure.
Also,
Yeah, I'm not sure if this is a question that Petty could actually answer because he didn't get very far.
Yeah.
yeah, it'd
But
be more measured in terms of floors or puzzle rooms or something.
yeah, and this is a puzzle game, so it's like the question is that incumbent on figuring out the puzzles? Because that's that's one of the ways that they stretched out game time back in the 80s. You know, making things oblique so you wouldn't beat a game in 30 minutes. Because that's kind of the thing about a lot of puzzle games from back in the day. It's like if you know the solutions, you can just breeze through the game.
Something world record Space Quest.
Right. Now, something like this still has like the platforming component attached. So
there's more execution to it, regardless of how hard it is. And you're definitely not running at a particularly high speed.
No. It's a very leisurely game, but then again, it had to be. You know, just a lot of the computers of the age would not have been able to pull off high-speed isometric. And plus, you don't really want to do that. I mean,
yeah, if your isometric stuff and it goes too fast, that gets hard to brain.
Yeah, learn the lessons of Sonic 3D Blast.
Well, Sonic
Anyway,
3D Blast had its own issues too.
Yeah. Anyway, anything else that we need to cover with Head Over Heels here?
Not really that I can think of.
All right, so that'll about do it for this game. Be sure to tune in after the break as the Golics will be reviewing Chess Brain.